Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Maine Yarn Podcast. I'm Julie.
And this is Jen.
And we're coming to you via video today.
I know. I mean, if you're listening in your car, you might not notice that. But yeah, we're trying this out. Tell us know what you think.
Yeah. So if you're watching on video, let us know. We'll post this on YouTube. Just trying to change things up before the new year.
Yeah.
So without further ado, what are we going to talk about today, Jen?
Well, how about finished objects? Do we got any of those?
I might. And let's talk about what we're working on.
Yes, we have lots of those. And what we want to work on next.
We'll have some shop talk.
Maybe a catastrophe or two by the time we get there.
Yep, possibly. Making stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like good. That's probably enough.
Okay, that's probably enough.
We'll see what else comes up.
You if you're watching this and you do listen to the podcast in the past, you probably didn't realize how much our faces move while we're or pull funny expressions while we're doing this, at least for me. So anyway,
yes.
Any finished objects, Jen?
No, it's been a non-finishing month, and I will tell you why shortly.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, yes and no. I am cheating and calling these finished, but I'm working on them right now. So those of you watching can see. I have to drape them over myself so you can see them. It looks kind of strange, but they are long slipper socks.
They're gorgeous.
Thank you. The long slipper socks are done. What isn't done is sewing the sole onto my slipper socks. So the question today will be, can I sew the sole on while we're talking and still consider these done? And how many times will I poke myself with a needle while we're
So what
talking?
kind of yarn did you use for those?
So I have to double up to do these. I used Goosey Fibers Hold the Door in their sock weights, which is called Cushy. And then Schachenmeier Regia Perfect in vierfädig. Anyway, 4-ply. I have the label.
Yeah.
And what it does is it creates this nice stripy but mottled effect.
Because you were holding them together to make it thicker, to make it a sock, a slipper?
Yeah, to make it a slipper, but also just following the pattern. So I'll talk more about that later, though, following the pattern that came with the soles. So more to come on that.
Yeah, so we got new soles in the shop, too, after Julie started this. And I was like, well, I would want to make some. Where should I get soles from? So I got some. Mine are not the lovely bright red that Julie's are. Mine are, I've got charcoal and beige are my colors, so.
Which I actually need, because I remember, I think I might have said last time I started them and had to pause because they didn't go with the red soles.
Yes. I haven't used mine yet, so I'll let you know how they go and how they attach and everything when I get to it. But you'd see I don't have slippers on my to knit list at this moment, so it's on my longer list of things. So if you get around to making slippers before me,
I'm sure.
Let me know. And also one of my employees' daughters bought one, so I asked her to let me know how they go too.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Yeah. I definitely want to make these again. They go really fast once you get into the groove, which again I'll talk about, because I didn't love how it was originally designed.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Yeah. So that's all we finished this month. And by finished, we're being a little
generous,
loose.
Generous. It's the time of the year to be generous.
It is, yes.
Giving with our designations.
Yes. Definitely. All right. So I'm having trouble looking at the camera while knitting because I'm doing a lace section here. So, but I will tell you about the lace section I'm knitting now. If you would like to hear about it.
Yes,
so
please.
This is my advent calendar that I got from who did I get it from? Sweet Georgia Yarns. It's gorgeous. It came with 12, something like that. Mini skeins of fingering weight. I think it was 12. I don't have it here. The pattern is called Ice Streams, and it came with it. You had the choice of a lace shawl, a simple blanket or a weaving project.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like a loom with like shack or whatever those things are called that you have to know about.
Yeah.
I've got most of a rigid heddle loom, but that's a story for another day. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Um, so I chose the lace shawl because the blanket seemed like it was going to be pretty small. And so it's called Ice Streams by Tabitha Hedrick. And this is it so far. It's going like through all the different colors. So it started with, there's actually 2 colors there, you can tell.
Yeah.
A little, I guess it's a little bit darker and a little browner. And then it's doing these kind of cool short row things where you see there's these little wedges of, it's basically the same pattern. It's lace, one lace pattern, which just repeats forever. And then there's one, Julie, you keep disappearing.
Don't mind me. This is part of the show. You'll know what we're doing.
Okay. So there's a lace pattern that just happens all over the place. And then there's a garter stitch pattern. So it's pretty easy to memorize, but then it does these short rows so that it, you keep having these little wedges in it, which is pretty cool. And then it keeps changing the colors. So
like
I'm up here.
Looks like ridges from here.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it'll block, maybe it's supposed to block out, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's kind of cool the way it has, with these decreases in the lace, it kind of pulls it in a little bit and makes these little like moguls, like you were skiing. So anyway, I'm working on one of the lace sections now. So I have it memorized. I just have to look at it because it's like slip, slip, knit, knit 2 together. And then this like 3 stitch decrease. And
I have it memorized. I just have to look at it. That may be the quote for today.
I have to look at the stitches, not the pattern. But when I get to the garter stitch, which will be in another row, then I can, wait a minute. Now I'm very confused. It says I should be doing.
Have another catastrophe brewing?
I should have been doing garter and I started on lace. All right, well, I'm going to be tinking here. I don't know why I started on lace. Anyway, I'm on day 16. Started on December 1st with day 1, and I'm a little behind because today is December 30th.
Yeah.
That we are recording. And so, you know, maybe I've got the next couple days off. Maybe I'll have it done in December. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've got like a day and a half left. I probably won't. But it did come with cool like gifts along the way. So so far I've gotten this little stitch marker that looks like a I don't know, my words are hard. It's like a little cookie that's like layers of, or a candy.
Yeah, it looks like a bullseye. Is that right?
No. Well, maybe it does, but never mind. Some little cookie
looks like
thing.
Something.
Yeah, and it's cute. So, and I also got for my second gift, like a ball snuggie. So it holds, you know, if you make a cake out of your yarn and it kind of falls apart towards the end, this sort of snugs it together. So that was my second gift. I still have a third gift because it like tells you when to open the gifts.
Yeah.
These tiny little gifts that came with. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I'm doing it, but it has taken over most of my December knitting. So not a lot of other things have happened. What are you working on?
I still haven't got stuck
Sewing
doing one of those
slippers?
Yet. Yeah. So besides the slippers, I took those off the list, didn't I? I hope so. I did do a few rows on the Sharon Show shawl. Sure.
Me too. I did before, like when we were in November. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk about that a lot this month because it was only a couple rows before I started onto my mystery knit along, which I'm tinking now. So
yeah, I just also have a pin had a pin go into my wrist. So.
Ouch.
For those of you keeping track. What else have you been working on?
Let's see. So aside from my Sharon show, we got these pom-poms into the shop. So this is sort of how it started.
Yeah.
Look how cute this is.
Yeah, it is.
Faux fur pom-poms. This color is called creme brulee, and it's kind of, for those of you who are listening and not looking, cream colored with the tips are shaded in black, and some of the tips, not all of them.
Yeah.
Brown to black.
Dark brown. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's going to look amazing on top of a hat. So I'm like, all right, well, now I need to make a hat. So I found this pattern by Alicia Plummer, who we love.
Mhm.
It's called the Caramel Brulee.
Mhm.
I don't remember what I said. This is
You said
caramel macchiato.
crème brûlée.
I don't know if I said it wrong. The pom-pom is caramel macchiato.
Okay.
And caramel brulee. It is
Caramel?
actually caramel brulee. And so she made a hat pattern to use a pom-pom. That was like, there's a story in there about how she wanted the appropriate hat for a giant, beautiful pom-pom. So she did that. And I'm like, well, that seems appropriate. So I'm making it out of Woolfolk Far, which is super soft. It's the worsted weight Woolfolk. Any Woolfolk is just, oh, it's so amazing. And so I decided to make that. Yeah, so I've got that started, and it's in my bag of tricks here. Let's see, how buried is it though? I've got the ball. Where's the hat?
I know, it's so weird that we're recording and we can actually show people stuff this time.
I know, but
just
no, we can't like, here it is.
So then you have to find it.
Yeah. Yes, this is the ball wrapper thing that I got from my my advent calendar that I was talking about. And here's the hat as it started. So, but it's super soft. I can't wait to wear it with that giant pom-pom on top. It's going to look gorgeous. Look at that.
It will.
Super happy. So, but I'm trying to finish this shawl because, you know, it came with dates and deadlines. And so I feel the need to obey those.
Yeah.
It's tough. How about you? What else are you working on?
I didn't bring them in with me, but I do have a pair of goosey socks going.
Ooh.
I think that might be a bit of a cheat though, because I'm kind of setting those aside to do the next thing on the list, which is the Fingerless Mitts, which again, did not bring in here. I should have. I apologize. But those are going.
Yeah.
I think I need to just start them again because I lost a bit of. I spent all that time measuring people's hands to get to get a good a good average hand size.
Yeah, I don't know that you had a good average group of people at the table when you were doing that, but
span of hand spans, as it were.
It was just a lot of people you had there. A lot of tall people. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically both our families.
I was making it too complicated, like everything. I'm making it too complicated. I'm making it so the wrist is narrower and then you have to increase, and I'm just going to simplify and start again, I think.
Okay. That sounds good, because I've got more of that sock yarn going to be mailed to me in a couple days, so that we will be all restocked. And actually, it's going to be a slightly different, I might have to rename it like Sock 2 or something, creative, because we had to go to a different distributor because my dyer couldn't get that same yarn anymore, which is unfortunate, but this new one sounds lovely too. So
is it going to be the same colors?
Same colors, mostly the same makeup, but it's coming from a different mill. So just so because
will be slightly different.
COVID is causing problems with our yarn distribution.
I heard there was a shortage of yarn.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like as shops, we're like struggling to get things and get them on time. And even like some of my, kind of workhorse Barocco yarns, there's a lot of them which are just like, they're on a ship, we're waiting for them to come in. Wow. So yeah. And then they get stuck in customs for a month and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So these like double decreases are really hard to undo, just saying. So I'm kind of struggling here a little bit. Dang it. And now they're falling down. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think I've really been working on anything else then. Just kind of working on the hat. Oh, there is one more thing, and I didn't even write it down because it doesn't really exist yet, but I'm designing a pattern too. And I can show you what I've got so far. So I actually was working on this on the airplane back or to Hawaii. And then I stopped for some reason. That
So
was in
back when we
February.
could travel.
What's that?
Back when we could travel.
Yeah.
Those days, in the before times.
So this is going to be a cowl. Super simple cable cowl.
Nice.
So it's just like, I've got it in this like peach and green kind of color that I really like. And the camera is showing up kind of dark, but the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say the green doesn't look green; it looks black.
No, it's definitely not black. It's jade, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Jade green. So, but the peach is coming through, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a nice little worsted weight cowl that should be up on my page for sale someday soon. Hopefully. Cool. I mean, it won't take me that long to finish knitting it, and the pattern is very simple. So we should get there.
Yeah.
Should we comment on our background, by the way?
Yeah, we should. I had passing thought and I never managed to work it in. Yeah, so we're both in Nitwit.
Well, we have virtual backgrounds that appear to be Nitwit. We don't have two of these signs behind, hanging up in Nitwit. Yeah. But yes, so this is a virtual background of Nitwit. I am home today. I have a rare day off, which is lovely. But Nitwit is open. My husband's in the shop, and he's there with Roxanne today. So if you place your orders today, I don't know, I'll get this up today before we close, probably not, but we will be closed the 31st and the 1st. But the online store will still be open, and we'll get those mailed out right away on the 2nd when we get in.
Because we're recording this right at the end of 2020.
Yes.
Clarify, just in case you're listening to this in the future or watching this in the future.
True.
Tell us what it's like.
To come back and tell us what the future is like. Yes. That would be nice. Did we get rid of the pandemic?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Did it go away? Can you tell?
Yeah. Are we going to make it to our retreat is the question.
Yeah, we better.
Yeah. So we went, just to totally jump off topic here. It's at the place where we went for our COVID safe fiber college. Yeah. And we are doing it in a COVID safe way again. So we did it this past September during the pandemic. Yeah. And we were all safe. Mm-hmm. And we were very, conservative with how we met and where we met and how we stayed.
How many feet apart we were. And,
yeah. And there was plenty of room for everybody. So that's the way we're going to do it this year. This June, unless, everything's gone, and then we'll open it up to more people. But for now, it's just kind of a small group, and there are still some spaces left if people want to join us.
Yay.
So anyway, that's sort of an aside. Anything else you're working
on? Yes, very barely, as you know, just yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, this is cool because I can actually show it. So this is how far I got. I've spoken about this before. With the Pure Side cardigan.
That's a lot more than you had last night.
No. This is how far I had.
Yes.
And then I decided I didn't like the yarn. And it looks fine on the screen right now.
Yeah, it does.
But it's super squishy.
Uh-huh.
So I don't like the lack of stitch definition, or more importantly, cable definition. So what happens is these cables right here.
Yeah.
Often they would just like poke themselves in and disappear and just look lumpy instead of cabley.
Yeah. Weird.
I would say it looks fine on the screen right now, but
it does.
Person, you can see it's just not as good.
Okay.
But if you remember, I was making my own lovely fade with this beautiful yarn from Bubble Link.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a swatch. Yeah, but I think I like it better. I think the stitch definition is better. I do not like my swatch. I'll be re-swatching.
Okay.
Because I made a mistake. Swatch. This is what happens when you do trivia contest and eat dinner and swatch at the same time.
Yes.
But
we did win. We just have to throw that out there.
We did win the trivia contest, so it was worth it. But I'll be re-swatching. And I'm hoping to get gauge. I'm not quite at gauge, but I'm starting again with my Pure Side sweater. And I know it seems crazy, but I just don't like it. That's why it's fine.
You're not going to like it more if you keep going with it.
Yeah. So I just don't like the old one. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of that yarn to figure out what to do with. I don't know. Maybe somebody needs it because of the yarn shortage. Let me know.
That's true.
And it's on Ravelry because I can't remember what it is right now. But we bought it, remember?
Yeah.
I bought it in Connecticut.
Yes. At the Stitches United.
Yeah. It's nice yarn. It's just not designed for cable pattern. It's designed for
Right.
something nice and squishy.
Mm-hmm. That was a long time ago when we could travel and.
Yeah, I remember. Remember? Anyway, so yes, I've very barely been working on that. Was my
All right.
last
Totally dropped a stitch. We're
Yeah.
just making catastrophes left and right.
I know the catastrophe section is going to be half the podcast.
I know. Where does that one even go? Sorry. All right, there it goes. I gotta find a. I don't think I have one here.
So did
Fell
you have
down pretty
anything
far.
else you were working on? I think
What?
that was right. You had that was everything you had been working on though.
Yes, sorry. I'm
It's okay.
distracting myself by dropping stitches.
Would you like to catch them while we have a word from our sponsor?
I would love to. Okay, go for it.
So now a word from Nitwit. Nitwit Yarn Shop in Portland, Maine has been a favorite knitting destination for locals and visitors since 2004. And now, as we mentioned, they're available online too at www.nitwitportland.com. This will allow you to shop their store virtually and explore some fun project ideas. Just click on shop to get to the online store, or you can click on classes to see the current class offering. Many classes now are being offered virtually, so you can join us wherever you are. Nitwit is also very excited to be offering their first knitting retreat, as Jen just mentioned. Yay! It'll be held in Searsport, Maine, lovely Searsport, Maine, right on the ocean. And because we're not sure what the COVID situation will be, we're planning it in a way that will keep us all safe. But that makes space limited, so sign up now. Bristol Ivy, Alicia Plummer, and Jackie Otino will be joining us to teach knitting and dyeing classes. You'll choose one class with each teacher and receive an amazing swag bag, free kayak rentals, and all your meals. When you're not in class, you'll have the opportunity to go kayaking, to hike on the trails, or hang out in the gardens with the sheep and cashmere goats. So cute.
They were adorable.
You may choose to relax, visit the marketplace, or just knit in the beautiful outdoor setting. Plus, there are a variety of lodging options available to suit your style. So follow them on Instagram at Nitwit Yarn Shop, or on Facebook at Maine Nitwit, Maine with an E.
Yes. Very nice. I can't wait. And we do have a few spots still left, so now is the time to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
So it is going to be fun, though. I can't wait.
It is.
Wait for it to be a little bit warmer, too.
So speaking of the future,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to work on next?
Well, I don't think my list has changed since last time, but I keep walking past my Cumulus yarn. So Concentric by Haiku. This is a new yarn we got, and it is so soft. It's a huge 200-gram cake. And it is 4 unplied strands, and they gradually change color from one to the next. And I wish I had brought it up here because I didn't realize we were doing video. But it is the color I'm using is called Kind of a Big Teal, which was their 2020 color of the year. So it fades from a darker teal to almost a white. And I'm going to use it to make the Briolicious shawl from Andrea Mowry. And I'm going to contrast it with Siren in Madeline Tosh Pashmina, which is a kind of a maroon colored gorgeousness in super soft. So the Concentric yarn is 100% alpaca, baby alpaca. So it's nice and soft too. And I think I just can't wait to wrap myself up in this brioche amazingness. So it is definitely on my list, and I keep walking past it going, ooh, I want to make that. And I really just have to finish this. And I finally recovered, and I can continue on with my garter row. I don't know why I thought I was starting on a lace row. Something in my brain just hiccuped. Yeah. But I'm on a brioche row or short row, so I have to
Don't do
The way
big
I do short rows is I kind of just knit along, and then I'm like, whoa, these stitches look weird underneath my needles. They're like all long and stringy. I'm like, oh wait, that's a wrapped stitch. Back up. So, but I will keep going. What are you working on, or what do you want to work on next?
What do I want to work on next? Lots of things. So same situation, but the one that's right next to me right now is the news sweater. And when I came into the shop last time, as you know, when I was in the actual shop versus the virtual shop, just
Yes.
all around me, I picked out these lovely contrast yarns because one of the cool things about the news sweater is doing it in stripes. I actually have a question for
Yes.
you. I can't remember. Did our teacher Lily?
Lily Chin.
Yeah, did Lily Chen say it was better to have the white colors from the inside out or from the outside in?
I think she said the lighter colors inside. Because if you remember the sweater she was wearing, it was sort of white with like green and purple sleeves.
Yeah, I still can't get my head around why that would be. But so I've got to figure out. I've got basically a black in quince, which is in quince lark, which is color crow. And then I have this color, which is canvas.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of beige, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as I put it with the main color, which is a reddish color, it skews a little bit pink, but I like it.
Yeah. Cool.
So with those, it's disappearing because of the virtual background if you're watching.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm like juggling it right now. There we go. We can see them all quickly. So yeah, as long as I can trick the camera into thinking they're a part of my being, then you'll be able to see them.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm excited to do that. It's sitting here, like all the yarn is just ready to go with
I
these,
know.
with not, she didn't give us instructions per se, but the tips and everything.
Right.
So I was sitting there with my gauge swatch.
I can't wait to see it.
Yes, can't wait to see it, but it hasn't started yet. All right, how about you? What do you want to work on next?
I think the only other thing I talked about before was testing out the on the round DK, where I was going to make some fingerless mitts called the Point Edwards mitts I had picked out. I can't wait to use it. I mean, it's a gorgeous shades of blue. One thing about on the round though, they had a color called Christmas by the Sea. It was kind of their December color of the month, and we bought some of them for the shop. And the plush bulky sold out like overnight. Like I put it on Instagram and it was gone before I got there the next morning.
Wow.
I did get another shipment in. So those are coming, or yeah, I think they're still coming. I don't think I have them yet, but they will be there soon. But we also have it in Nimble Sock and the plush singles, which are both gorgeous. It's just great color. It's like my color, right? It's like it's kind of like oceany, but kind of reminiscent of Christmas by the ocean, hence the name. But totally gorgeous. So if you haven't checked it out, you got to see it. I was thinking about snagging one of those Nimble Socks for myself and making some socks out of it, but I've got so many projects waiting for me. I haven't yet. So if you want it, it's there. And it's awesome. So, but those are the only two things I have like on my official list. There's a lot of things I want to get back to because I keep starting things and then stepping away, like the Kiki cardigan that I started from Coco Knits, which is amazing. I'm making it out of Quince & Company Owl, which is half wool, half alpaca. And it's just so nice for a cardigan. It's got great stitch definition. It's a little bit, I don't even want to say nubby, but it's just kind of got that rustic feel, but it's still really soft. The rustic look, maybe, not a rustic feel. So it's just really a traditional kind of sweater yarn. But that's on my list. Not what I want to work on next. What do I want to continue working on? So,
sorry if it's been distracting.
Why are you making funny faces?
Because I couldn't find where I put the needle.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. So what else are you working on or want to work on?
The other one that I want to work on / need to, because I promised you I would, is some little socks, and I'll give away a secret. They're going to be Shorty Socks. They're going to be super easy and quick, and it's going to be a class on making those Shorty Socks.
Yay. We got
through
to get that
Nitwit.
on the schedule.
I know. So as soon as we can get it on the schedule, and then they will make themselves. You know what I
Excellent.
mean? But it's on my list because
Magic
yes, we need to
socks.
schedule it.
Yes.
And by being Shorty, I mean I can't even like that. In theory, that will go so fast.
You should make it out of Christmas by the Sea, nimble sock.
I could. I have a few sock yarns. I know it
You
sounds
think?
crazy. I have a few sock yarns in my stash.
Yeah, one or two probably.
One or two.
Hey. Well, by you I meant, our listeners.
Yes.
When they sign up for the class, they'll also get a
Yes.
discount on the yarn to make the socks. So
Yeah, because we've got to
learn how
figure
to
out
make
when that's
socks.
going to happen. But in the new year and early in the new year is the plan, right?
Yes.
And were we going to say virtual or in person? We still have to figure that out.
Virtual, I think, still, right?
Yeah. So the good news is if you're listening/watching and you are a long way away, you could still do the class if you're interested.
Right. So it'll be a Zoom class like we're doing now, and you'll be
Yes.
able to talk back to us and we'll hear you. You can talk
Yeah.
back to us now if you want. We just won't hear you.
Yeah.
So it'll be live by Zoom. And we won't record it, so you don't have to worry about, what you're saying.
Right. Unless you want us to. No, we won't record it. But hopefully, yeah, we've done a few Zoom classes and it does work pretty well. And I'll find a way to make sure that the camera pickup is going to be better than say what we're working with right now. So we've been talking about that, how to make sure that you're really able to see what I'm showing.
Right. So we won't do the virtual background.
Yeah.
And then we'll also have a separate camera that shows the actual knitting.
Yes.
And I think we'll be fine. Because that's how we did the Lily Chin class. And I think she did a really nice job.
Yeah. Yeah. And it works. Like you think you really need to do it in person, but really it's more the being able to show what you're doing.
Yeah. I am totally looking forward to doing it in person again, though.
Yeah.
Say at the retreat or something.
Yeah.
But
you might be able to show the technicalities, but you kind of miss the interpersonal stuff.
Yes. The after class hanging out and making s'mores. Wait, we don't normally make s'mores at classes, but you know what I mean.
I mean, you can if you want. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You won't be able to share them. Yes. I don't like s'mores anyway because they have marshmallow in them.
You don't like marshmallow?
Well, I don't eat marshmallow.
Oh, right.
Because it's not vegetarian, but marshmallow fluff in a jar, which I'm not sure if people outside of the US know what that is.
Yes,
but marshmallow. Okay, well, you do.
I'm in the US.
You're in the US. I think it might be in the UK now, but marshmallow fluff in a jar, I can eat. I just don't particularly want to. But marshmallows themselves have gelatin in them.
But marshmallow fluff does not?
Right. Isn't that weird?
What is it?
I don't know.
We don't ask such questions.
Space goo. This episode is not sponsored by Marshmallow Fluff.
That's true, yeah. And I just totally did a weird splitty thing on my... What the heck? I can't knit and podcast unless it's just straight round and round garter stitch, which I should have gotten because I have that sweater that I'm always working on the podcast, and I forgot to grab it.
Anyway. Well, before we get to catastrophes, which I'm going to have a couple more to contribute as well, do you want to talk a bit more about the shop?
Sure. So one new thing we have in the shop now is buttons. Like we've always had them in the brick and mortar shop, but now we have them in the online shop too.
Yay.
So we don't have them all up there yet, but we do have quite a bit, and they're adorable.
They are.
And I can't wait to use them. No idea what's going on. I'm just going to ignore that little oops in my yarn and keep going. But yeah, so if you like buttons, if you like cute buttons, that's what I've got. And I'll keep working on putting more up. They're just sort of, each new product I create is kind of a lot of work, and then each button is sort of its own product. So I've got a giant bunch of them, but I put all the new ones up. And then I started putting the Katrinkles buttons up, which are the laser etched wooden ones, which are adorable with different, you got foxes and lambs and alpacas and cool designs. So I love the Katrinkle stuff. It's always so well done and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm thinking about in the shop is new yarns. So I've been looking at like spring yarns. So I'm starting to bring some new spring yarns in, which I can't talk about yet, but they're going to be fun.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I was knitting on. I had some spring yarns that I was swatching on.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Yeah, but I can't really talk about those yet.
Yeah.
So that did take some of my knitting time away. But I just want to hear from you guys. What yarns would you want Nitwit to carry that I don't currently? Like, we don't have a ton of space, but I'm trying to find ways to add more.
Yeah.
So any suggestions you have, Julie, that you would?
Well, you already got the goosey sock, so I love that. Do you have Schachenmeier? Do you have these?
I do have some of that. I've got the Regia. It's I don't think it's perfect, but I've got the Regia. What's the guy's name who does all the amazing color?
Stephen.
No.
Is it a Stephen?
No, it's not one of the Stevens.
It's not one of those
Cafe Facet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. Yeah. Anyway, he designed some self-striping socks, and I do have his stuff in the shop.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah, in the Regia.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with this right now, but I do like how the self-striping worked out in the slippers.
Yeah.
And otherwise, Malabrigo is hard to get. More Malabrigo. You have Malabrigo though.
I do. Actually, while we were talking, my husband sent me a text. He's like, "Should we order more Malabrigo?" They're having trouble getting more Malabrigo. Like, the distributor can't get enough.
Julie said yes.
I did say yes. So I said, after I'm done recording, I'll go see what I can find.
Yeah.
But just other lines that some of you love or use a lot. I'd love to hear from you as to what lines you'd like us to carry. So if you want to put it over in the Ravelry group or shoot us an email or something, looking for ideas.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is I just figured this out last night, but we're going to have a new subscription series starting in January. Frabjous Fibers will be what?
I was just quoting Jabberwocky, which is
okay.
where Frabjous comes from.
Yes. And if you look in the picture here behind me, there's some Frabjous Fibers.
Oh, nice. The kits?
We don't have those kits anymore, but they're in the picture. Yeah. Because it's an older picture. Anyway, they are putting together monthly kits that are, you can travel the world virtually with them. So every month you're going to get a skein of yarn and a pattern to go with it and some information on the city that it's inspired by. So I am super looking forward to that. I'm going to get some information up there soon about it, but that's just, late breaking news. So we're only going to have 10 of them at this point to see what people think. And if people want this, we can expand it later in the year. But to start off, we're going to start with 10 subscriptions available. So if you would like one, keep an eye out on the website or the Instagram. We will put it out there soon.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all my shop top for today. Okay. And then we have Knitastrophes. How's your Knitastrophes going?
This is going okay. So the first thing I didn't mean to talk about was, so here's my, okay, obviously that looks like a Knitastrophe, but I'll fix it.
Okay.
These are the soles that I'm sewing on.
Yeah.
It's leather. There are holes in the leather where the needles go through, and then it's doubled up. And where it's doubled up, the holes don't always align.
What's doubled up?
So can you see there's a seam in the leather here?
Yes. Oh, I see. Two layers.
In a couple of spots, it's not evenly spaced where the holes are. And then it's more evenly spaced than I thought it was with my first go round, though, because I missed a couple because I didn't realize the leather hadn't been punched all the way through.
Oh.
So I've got to go back now and continue sewing the sole on.
Yes.
Done. But really for the Knitastrophe, what I want to, so last time I talked about the fact that they were red soles and I didn't realize it and I was making it in completely the wrong color. and it didn't go. So now I'm very happy about how this goes with the red. I
Yeah.
kind of forced it to because I added some red sock yarn that I happened to have as a leftover. Who knew? So that's working out fine. But the pattern itself is very odd. I want to say I used it more as an inspiration. This is the pattern, if you can see it. So Regia Ledersohlen. It comes with the soles themselves in a variety of languages. And I
Which
did
is always troublesome.
Yeah, which I did. I actually enjoyed it. So I tried it in German and in English.
Which one was more accurate?
German. It was obviously written in German, but the English one was fine. It wasn't that the translation was bad. It's just that the pattern itself calls for you to make them super short. Trying to get this to work. I think you can see that now.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Make them super short. I wanted to make them nice and long, and I'm probably still going to make some pom-poms. So I'm really not done. To hang off.
Where are you going to put pom-poms?
I'm going to hang them off the top.
Oh, jeez.
Super cute.
And people are going to wear these?
Yes.
Walking around with pom-poms bouncing off their knees?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
So we'll see. But I didn't like the pattern, first of all. So I made it longer. That's really easy. I just knitted for longer than it said. So they were long slippers. So I'm happy with that. Then I got to this part. So underneath, oh my goodness.
There you go.
Underneath the sole, there's still slipper, there's still knitting, right? It's not like you stop knitting and you just have a bare sole.
Right.
But what it wanted you to do.
Don't bare your sole, Julie.
No, don't bare your sole. But what it wanted you to do was do garter stitch the way you can see on this one that hasn't been sewn up yet.
Yeah.
But it had no shaping. So what was going to happen was just you would garter stitch and there would be all this extra fabric kicking around in the sole of your foot.
Ew.
It also calls for you to graft it together right down the center of the sole of your foot. So basically the most delicate part of your foot, it wants you to have all this extra stuff and a seam.
Nice.
I'm happy with how my 45 stitch Kitchener came out. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I added some shaping. And you can still see there's a little bit of a bump there, but I shaped at the top and at the bottom. The alternate, I would say, if you're doing this yourselves, don't overthink it. You don't need to follow that pattern. Just make a sock.
I don't think mine come with patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, so. which is fine. You don't need a pattern. And I would say if you're going to do the regia, sure, feel free to follow the pattern, but that's my advice is I would make it longer unless you really want the short slippers. And then you have to do something about the sole to shape it. And all I did was I knitted it a bit bigger and then I went in and I
would just make a chunky sock.
Yeah, just make a chunky sock. That's really next time. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just make it with either, and this is doubled up sock yarn. You can do it with doubled up sock yarn, or you can do whatever yarn is equivalent to 2 strands of sock yarn. Is that worsted?
Might be.
Something
I would go even thicker.
Yeah.
Do it in puffin or something.
Yeah, you can do it in whatever
nice bulky weight
you want. Because but yeah, if you're not comfortable making your own sock pattern off the top of your head, which is my favorite pastime right now,
which is why you're teaching the class.
Yes, find a sock pattern that calls for a worsted plus and just make those socks and then sew the soles on the end. Ooh. And also the way it's said to
with the sock knitting machines we have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I could do that really easy then.
Yep.
All right, so then it doesn't have to wait. I just need a thicker. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because those need thicker yarn to work. Yeah. These are the which one? Who's the manufacturer?
Addy.
Addy. Yeah, they made sock machines.
Yeah.
Kind of that use big chunky yarn, so they're not really sock machines. They're just sock machine sized. They're good for hats. I've seen a bunch of people use them to make hats and then crochet on the motif from Among Us, which is a popular video game right now.
Yeah.
Where are you going? You've
I'm
disappeared.
gonna show Oki because so the rule in improv is if a cat meows, you have to bring the cat onto the screen. I
Okay.
think the same applies for dogs. So
Okay. She's kind of big though.
no, she's not.
Yes, I guess she is. Taoki. Aw. She's like, what are we doing?
So she's like 35 pounds, which in my house is not big.
Right, but still.
Oki says hi, everybody. Just had to get a little cameo from Oki.
Okay. Did she steal my stitch? Because I'm missing one here. 2,
No.
4, 6, 8, 9. I'm supposed to have 10. Where did it go?
See, catastrophes all over the place. So what about? So that was my main thing I want to talk about with catastrophe. Not a catastrophe per se, but I had to redo it a few times because I'm just not a big fan of the pattern.
Yeah. My catastrophes are happening live, so I don't really feel the need to talk about them more. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need an extra stitch in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm just struggling for some reason with this very simple lace pattern that I've memorized to, do it. What is she talking about?
Yeah, she wants to go out.
No. All right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Should I just keep talking and staring at myself here? Okay. Well, I'm adding an extra stitch where I think it might go.
Out of the store.
Out of the store.
Because we're in the store right now.
Gotcha. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right. I have 10 stitches again. Just randomly put one in there. It's the beauty of lace. All right. I think that's enough catastrophes for today. We got making stuff too.
Yes.
So I put sock machines on here because I'm trying to still make my 3D printed sock machine.
Yep.
I've got it 3D printed. I reprinted the parts that my dog ate. And then I went to put the needles in. So you can't 3D print the needles, right? So I had to buy some and they were wrong. So I had to buy some more. And so I've got them and I think they will work. I just have to cut them down. So you have to buy like regular sock machine needles.
Yep. Like, are they plastic or are they?
No,
metal?
They're metal because they're, thin little strips with that little, it's kind of like a latch hook. Did you ever do latch hook?
No.
Rugs. So it's like a crochet hook, and then it's got like a little thing that opens and closes, so it holds the yarn tight.
Yeah.
And so like that you can't make out of tiny thin plastic.
Yeah.
Which is probably why the plastic knitting machines from who?
Addie.
Addie. Thank you. I don't know why that name is. Why the Addie sock machines they're all plastic, probably to keep the cost down. And they definitely use
the ones we got. Do they make even bigger ones?
Well, I got the bigger one.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's just plastic again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna not do another row because this is all just going badly. So yeah, I have to, that's probably something I'm gonna do on one of my days off here, is to go and try to reassemble my sock machine now with the new needles I got. I need to take a Dremel and like cut the extra length off because it's a sock machine that's made for, the needles are made for kind of the traditional like long sock machines.
Yeah.
Long knitting machines, not sock machines. So to make it into a circular sock machine, they just need like the ends shaved off. So
is your sock machine going to be for worsted plus, or is it
no, for yarn? Like sock yarn?
Cool.
So if I can get it to work, we might be able to print you up one too.
Yay!
Because that's the couple of rolls of filament.
That's the downside with the Addie, is that it's designed for worsted plus, which, as we just said, would work really well for the slippers.
Right.
But generally, people I'm finding are making socks out of sock yarn. Surprise,
right.
Surprise.
That would be nice. Yeah. And so we just bought the Addie sock machine and the bigger circular knitting machine to test them out before I decided if I wanted to offer them in the store, and I'm not thrilled with them yet.
Yeah.
Like as a useful tool. So haven't
Right.
decided to carry them. They're kind of expensive
Mhm.
just as an item, like compared to regular circular sock machines, they're definitely cheaper, but they're, for what they are, I think they're kind of expensive. And I don't know. I'll keep playing.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think the key with the sock machine is because you can use it to make other things. I think the key is not trying to make it work for an idea you have in your head, but just making it work based on what it is able to do.
Mhm.
Like it is really good at producing worsted or I think thicker yarn
Yes.
that is an exact width. So, and it can be in a tube like socks, but it can only
Yeah.
be that one size of sock.
Right.
Or it can be flat. And I think flat, I can see a lot of things being made from that because you could pick up the edges and do
Right. You could do
but
like a big blanket too. Like
yeah.
I don't have any knitted blankets just because I just don't have the patience to knit that much flat.
Yeah.
But maybe I should do that. Use it for a blanket.
Yeah.
That would
Do
be
all
fun.
different colors the way
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Inspired. The other thing
Yeah.
I've been making, kind of a stretch, but I'm doing diamond painting. I don't know if I mentioned this before. So
That's very expensive.
it's not actually diamonds. That's just what it's called. And there might be another name for it.
Mhm.
They're plastic. But back towards the beginning of the pandemic, like my Facebook feed was just full of these ads for these paintings, pictures. It's sort of like cross stitch, where it's just like a big picture of made up of a lot of little squares.
Mhm.
And then you get these tiny little teeny plastic squares that are kind of diamond faceted on one side.
Yeah.
And you glue them down to this painting. So this kind of,
Like color by numbers kind of?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
color by numbers, but
Yeah.
with gluing little plastic pieces on instead of actually coloring. And so I ordered it towards the beginning of the pandemic, and I'm like, oh, this will be a fun thing to do while I'm stuck at home. And
Mhm.
I haven't had any free time, but
Yeah. While you're stuck
it
at home
took
and
like
having that spare time.
4 or 5 months to get here. Like they made them in
Yeah.
China, and it got on a boat, and it just sat there for months. So it finally showed up in the fall, and then I kind of unrolled it. I put it on my cutting table in my room where I do like cutting for sewing.
Mhm.
So I haven't been sewing lately because it's sitting there. But it's been fun. It's kind of it's just sort of meditative. You take the little thing and you put it on, and I got a picture of like a door that opens onto a beach, and so it's in my theme. And I put on an audiobook while I'm doing it. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
It takes a little while, but that's sort of the point. I could have gotten it, with bigger squares, and then it wouldn't have looked as detailed when it's done.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. So
Cool.
it's kind of a different, something else crafty to do
Mhm.
in a different way.
Yeah.
So
Getting
that's
there.
all I've got. Ooh, nice.
I'm showing you the good side.
Okay, it looks pretty. They look like they're the right size and everything.
Yeah. Well, but you don't know the person I'm making them for.
I mean, the sock is the right size for the sole.
Okay. Sorry.
And if you're
Yeah,
listening,
I'm totally not sure they're the right size, but if anything, they're going to be too big. So I figure that's better than too small. So
yep, they're nice.
yeah. Yeah. I just need to go back and do these two. And I need to do the other one. And I need to decide if I'm making little pom-poms to hang off.
Yeah. All right. So not quite a finished object. So you'll be talking about it next month too. As
No,
another
that's
finished
cheating.
object.
I can only count it once, even though it's not really done.
Okay. Well, thank you for contributing to the finished objects portion of our show,
Yeah,
because
made me feel
otherwise
better.
we would have none.
You're welcome.
All right. So sounds like we've come to the end of another Maine Yarn.
Yeah.
Show notes. I still haven't changed these notes in our notes. Show notes are now on the Nitwit website. So it's nitwitportland.com, and you click on podcast. And so that's where you can download the podcast, and you can also see the show notes.
Yeah.
And those, I believe, are kind of carrying through to things like iTunes now too, where you can see the
Oh,
notes.
cool.
So I think our new method is a little snazzier than the old one.
Yeah, so if you wanted to like make these, and I got to check that I've updated it on Ravelry, but if you wanted to make something that we were talking about, or what was that yarn, you know, you can actually link through the show notes back to Ravelry to find the details.
Yes.
So don't mind me, just have to thread more yarn.
You're using the same yarn as you used for the knitting?
Yeah, well, I decided to use the red and the goosey. So the red is actually Saubabal.
Yes.
Was left over. But I figured since they're red soles, I would bring in the red again. Again, that's the bad side.
Cool.
That's something to fix the other side. It wants you, by the way, the pattern also says to do a cross stitch, like big crosses.
Oh, weird.
I don't know what's up with this pattern.
Okay.
But do what you want.
Yes. All right. So we already have signed off, so we should actually stop.
Sorry.
All right.
This is what happens when you call something done and you're not done.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think that was it, right?
Yeah. Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you in January.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.